How's it? It's Brendan here from Infiniti Investments. Going to talk about land expropriation without compensation in South Africa. Panic! Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this place, but it's definitely not a time to panic. Let me explain why. So there's a bunch of things that you can do to protect yourself from this big propaganda vote driving system that they're trying to put over us by saying, by just talking about land expropriation without compensation. And the way they wrote the bill, I actually went and read the bill, is it's not actually land expropriation. That's what they're talking about, but it's actually property expropriation, which means it could be anything. Could be your car, it could be your bank account, could be the clothes on your back, could be anything that you own they can take and not pay you for it. Sounds scary. What if I already don't own anything because everything's in a trust? What if I already... Well, let me ask you a different question. Who do you think owns your house? Even if it's paid for cash? Well, if it's not paid for cash, first in line is the bank. They have a bond over the property. Stop paying the bond and let's see how quickly you get a big slap upside the head that says you don't own your property. Sorry to say, bank does. Anyway, who holds the title deed? The bank does. Therefore, the bank owns the property. You get the usage of it and you get the right to the benefit of what it can produce, but you don't own it. Don't for a second think you own it. Let's ask another different question. Stop paying rates and taxes for 2-3 months, see what happens. If you own a townhouse or anything in a complex, stop paying your body corporate fees, see what happens. How about go read the Body Corporate and the Sectional Title Schemes Act and see how much power a body corporate actually has if you don't pay your body corporate fees. They'll take your property. Yep, they'll take it. So you don't own your property. You own the right to live in it, the right to the benefit of it, the right to the cash flow that you can make out of it, if you can make cash flow out of it. Usually if you're just living in your house, you're not making cash flow, it's just an expense, it's just draining your pocket. So guys, we already don't own the property. So who gives a rat's ass if they take it? And if it's bonded to the hilt, guess what? They're taking it from the bank. So who cares? Put it in a trust, protect your other assets, and if somebody wants to take it, let them take it. Just make sure you bonded it to the hilt. And guess what? The banks will fight them with their teams of lawyers way better than you can fight them. That's what I'm doing. That's what a bunch of my very rich mates are doing. They're not leaving South Africa because of land expropriation without compensation. I'm not leaving because of that. It certainly worries me that they start talking about it because I can see what the economic impact is going to be on South Africa as a whole, and it's definitely going to affect the poor more than it affects me. Why? Because I've already made a plan. I've already got money overseas. I've already got investments overseas. I've already got something that can, I can move. I've got freedom of choice to do what I want, when I want, where I want, when I want to, and when I have to. So if somebody does come to take my little small holding, or my property in Cape Town, or my property in Boksburg, or whichever one, they're taking it from the bank, not from me. 2, I've already got a plan B. I've got something outside of South Africa. I've got enough income that I can come and go and do whatever the hell I want. So I can just get on a plane if I want to, but I don't want to. I like living in South Africa. The other thing about having offshore money is it's kind of nice to live in rands and earn in dollars, even though the dollar's taken a bit of a beating recently. And if you take it over the long term, the rand has definitely been sliding at whatever it is, 6% a year for the last 30 years. I actually had a researcher go and dig up the analytics and combine the rand depreciation with our inflation rate against the global inflation rate with a basket of 5 different things. Was a university degree, a public school education, a private school education, and a holiday overseas once or twice a year. And it worked out that the actual rand depreciation is more like 29% year on year compounded for the last 30 years, which is very, very, very scary. So I like to just believe it's more like 6%, which is what they tell us. It's rubbish. But anyway, if it's depreciating and I've got a dollar-based income, I don't really feel the fear that these people are trying to instill in me with this propaganda message. I can laugh it off because I've protected myself. So I'm hoping that a lot of people that are listening to this have taken steps to protect themselves, have at least opened a bank account overseas, moved a little bit of money. A great friend of mine once said to me, very wise man, said, you and your money should never sleep in the same country. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. I like going to visit my money on some pretty little island somewhere. The island that's got my money is a very big island. It's probably a continent, actually. The United States of America. It's got most of it. Not all of it. We've got a little bit of pounds as well. Tiny little bit of Singapore dollars, tiny bit, little bit of Hong Kong dollars, tiny bit, little bit of, I don't have Aussie dollars yet. I've still got to go to Australia and go open a bank account and go get that going. But, you know, I've got a spread of money around the world. I've got some cryptocurrencies. But mostly I've got US dollar based assets that are real estate. So I know they're going to be around for the long term. I also know they're not going to be massively disrupted over the long term, because as much as disruption is happening in the world via technology, and there's definitely lots of disruption happening in the real estate space, I'm not in retail. Why? Because Walmart's getting decimated. Warren Buffett just bailed out of Walmart recently. Toys R Us closed. I was in New York 3-4 months ago with Kevin, my business partner, and a good mate. He was a good mate before he was a business partner. We were walking around and I wanted to go buy some toys for my kids, and that Toys R Us store there at Times Square is amazing, or at least it was amazing. So I was like, it was raining, and I said to Kev, we were 2 or 3 blocks down from Times Square, and I was like, we have to go to Toys R Us. I got to go buy some stuff for my kids, for Alyssa and Dorian. And so we took a stroll down there in the rain. It was raining lightly, it wasn't too bad, and it was closed. And I was like, what's going on here? How the hell has the best Toys R Us store closed? Freaky stuff. So I went online, checked it out, saw that Toys R Us stores were closing left, right and center all over the country, all over the US, all over the world. And why? Because Amazon's decimating them. Takealot here in South Africa is decimating normal stores. Retail is taking a beating. People are still buying stuff, but they want one-click buy, deliver today, deliver tomorrow. They want Amazon Prime. They want to be able to sit in bed, hit buy, have it arrive at the door, ding dong, here's your stuff. Brilliant. They do not want to go to a damn store anymore. They don't want to walk around searching for stuff. I had to buy a cover for my laptop a couple of weeks ago. I actually went to Canal Walk here in Cape Town. I went to Gadget Fix, Gadget Time, WeFix, Incredible Connection, and the Apple Store. And they did not have a cover that I liked, that I wanted, and the covers that they did have, the clear ones, were 990 Rand, I think, 950 Rand, somewhere around there. Went onto Amazon, bought the cover I wanted, the matte black one, looks amazing, the nice slim line, matte finish. It arrived here 7-8 days, was quite a surprise, was quite quick in South Africa, and it cost me like $22 plus shipping. So I call it 400 Rand. That's what Amazon has given to us, and Toys R Us couldn't compete. That's simple. Sears Roebuck, decimated. We drove through Houston and Dallas a couple of months ago on another one of our trips out to the US to go look at properties. And while we were touring around, we were looking at a bunch of industrial stuff. We were looking at some multifamily stuff with some ex-South Africans that are actually living there in Dallas. And one of the big Sears Roebuck stores was just a Sears store, was closed, and they were converting it to multifamily. So is there opportunity in retail? Yes, it's when you're buying the empty stores and converting to multifamily. And why is multifamily not disruptable? Because people are still physically this size and we still need a place to live. It's common sense. It's not rocket science. We need a place to live. Population's growing. If there's more people that need more places to live, maybe supply it, you'll be okay. You'll make some money. You'll have a safer investment than if you're in retail that's getting decimated by online buying. I don't want to be in office. Office scares the daylights out of me, because why? 99% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. And in the next 5 years, of the 1% that's left, half of them will fail. So you've got 0.5% that'll last more than 10 years. And most of them that do last by the skin of their teeth. Very few of them actually become very successful businesses. So if you know that 99% of businesses fail in 5 years, why would you take an office complex where businesses are renting from you? I don't know. It seems risky to me. Yes, we have helped people buy office complexes before, usually because they begged us to buy office. They know office, they understand office, they know how to mitigate the risk. So where I don't like that risk, they've got the skill set that they can mitigate that risk. And then they bought offices, and they bought offices in Atlanta, 2 buildings that we helped some people buy. to a value of nearly $40 million. And they're doing very, very well. But there's some tenant rollover risk coming in 3-4 years' time, when those, when a whole floor of an office complex goes vacant, and all of a sudden we're scrambling for tenants that can take up a very significant lease. I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be hunting for businesses that have inherent risk in them. But is there a business model that works? Yes, WeWork is working. The business center in South Africa is working very, very well. So offices do have their place, do have their, and there's new businesses coming online all the time. So when the other ones do close, new ones come online. But I don't want to be in that space. I want to be in safe, dependable, income-producing assets. Multifamily works, medical works, for a bunch of different reasons. So I don't get the fear from this land expropriation stuff without compensation. We don't have to feel scared if we've made an appropriate plan. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is make an appropriate plan, invest wisely. Dollars flow back to South Africa just as easily as they flow out. So you don't have to go and say, well, I'm investing overseas. I'm now not a proud South African. I'm a proud South African. I love my country. I love the Springboks. I love the Proteas. I love the Table Mountain. I love traveling through the bush. I love the Kruger Park. I love the people here that are always happy and helpful and greet me whenever I get home. And whenever I come through, customs in South Africa, there's two great feelings. One is elation that I'm home with the big smiling faces as I get there. And the second one is wait for my bags on the conveyor belt, significantly longer than any first world country. But these are the dichotomies that we live with here in South Africa, and the edge between chaos and order and it's fun. It's a fun, lively, great place to live with awesome people, but we don't have to be scared, especially with politicians that are telling us stupid things in order to get votes for themselves, in order to stay in power. Like, if we just understand some basic things, that they just want to stay in power, they just want to stay on the money train where they're making lots of money right now, that's okay. That's who they are, that's what they want to be, that's okay. But we don't have to buy into their fear, and we can certainly make educated decisions on how to invest, where to invest offshore, and while the gates are still open, while we can still move money offshore, we should protect ourselves, be a responsible investor, move some money offshore. Even if you don't do it with me or partner with me, I don't care. I've got enough of a plan B already for my family overseas. So I just hope lots of people take that action. Move some money into some cryptocurrency so that you can move it anywhere you want, whenever you want, without anybody having to tell you, how or what or whatever the case may be. Move it into some dollars, move it into some pounds. It's a prudent thing to do to protect yourself and protect your wealth. And now, while the rand is a little bit stronger than it has been, it's maybe a good time to move it as well. So think about it carefully. Don't take my advice, take it. Doesn't really affect my life very much. Do with it what you want. But I hope that you guys, that anybody that's listening, takes to heart that we don't have to be scared. It's not necessary. They want us to be scared so that they can create a place where there's dissent, where there's people that are angry with each other for dumb reasons. We don't need that. We need inspired people. We need people with money. We need to be able to create wealth freely. We need to be able to move our money around the world however we want to, and we need to be able to invest wherever we want to that suits us and creates the lifestyle that we want to create. And that's me signing off. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share it if you did. You don't have to share it. Just asking nicely if it was valuable to you. It might be valuable to your mates. It might be valuable to anybody that you know, and maybe this helps somebody. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.